you need to see where you come from.
3 years ago, my mother took me on a 2-month trip. The person who came back was slightly different to the person who went. My family is spread out in various villages in southern China, one of which I was born. It's a very different life. Some would call it simple. I would say it's humble, open-armed, with a lot to learn from. Everyone has a story to tell and a cup of tea to brew for you. Some ways of life in the village have a pretty old-school charm, and there's a real sense of nurturing things from the ground or on it. The mud brick family home my mother and grandmother grew up in has been patched up a couple times. It still houses many smiling faces though. In the village you could get your roadside oranges or head up the mountains and take your pick. Things were that local. This is the family dog I befriended. He doesn't understand Mandarin either, so we got along very well. My uncle, he's pretty badass. He took me to the mountains and showed me how to drink from the trickling streams with a folded leaf. Here he is shooting some birds for dinner, as you do. Here I am shooting some... No, I'm just posing. Don't tell my mother though. My other uncle taught me how to drive a motorbike. Well, a Vespa. He didn't teach me how not to crash it into a side of a market stall though. So, let's move on. In Hong Kong, my mother took me to Disneyland. It was the first amusement park she'd been to, so I got to see her inner child. She wasn't too amused by the twirly ride I made us go on though. In fact, I'd say she was petrified. But the chairlift was a lot more chill. We often associate Hong Kong as a business capital, so it was lovely seeing another side of it with natural beauty, the sea, and no smoking signs everywhere, which is not the case in mainland China. We went to a Buddhist shrine in Shanghai. The goddess statue in the distance is actually mammoth. You can't quite tell from the perspective. I gotta say, walking up the 700 or so steps was enough spiritual connection for me. Later that year in our Sydney home, our first nest of chooks was born. We found the mother, presumed missing, chilling under the house with all these surprise baby chicks. New life is a pretty wonderful thing. So I guess I understand why a green thumb runs in the family. And you know what? I hope it stays.